Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, is in his final day in court. We're going to get into that today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, who's been tracking the Johnny Somali case from really beginning to end. And we're about at that point here in this stage where things are coming to a close. As a quick recap, Johnny Somali was sentenced earlier this year to 6 months with labor, in addition to being required to register on the offender list in Korea, having his phones confiscated from him, and is currently sitting in the Seoul Nambu Detention Center pending his appeal. He's now on an appeal, aka a second trial. So what we're having right now is this second trial. Now, before we get into all the details here and what's going on with the second trial, I have a very important message. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for a case. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. Now that that's done, back to a business. So looking at Johnny Somali's case, one reason why this is moving so fast is because neither Johnny Somali nor the prosecution are calling any more witnesses. So really what they're considering is what they've already considered during the first trial. They're not really looking at too many extra things coming out on this second trial, and they're mainly just applying the law. Now, there are some minor things that have happened since last time, including one that followed up by a member of the SCT team to submit additional evidence in this case. So we had Johnny Somali submitting all these letters of reflection saying that he's sorry, he's remorseful. So a member of the SCT over here delivered this brand new filing pretty much rebutting why Johnny Somali's new letters of apology and what he's trying to say as his grounds for an appeal, why they don't matter. So let me read this translation to you from this new submission that was made by a member of the Somali conviction team. The defendant's statement of grounds for appeal contains the following arguments. Of these, 3 claims: admission of all charges and genuine remorse, absence of financial gain, and a promise not to reoffend, are directly refuted by the video evidence submitted below. So they've got on that USB stick enough video evidence to show that these things are not true. Because Somali is claiming to admit all charges and be remorseful, he is saying that the nature of his characteristics of his crime were not serious. It says it appears the damage suffered by victims of the distribution of fake videos is not severe. 4, they're saying he suffers from bipolar disorder and is unable to obtain medication while staying in Korea. 5, the defendant did not cause any special financial benefit from the crime. And 6, the defendant pledged not to commit such a crime again. So the submission here that was made says number 2, 3, and 4. So saying the crimes weren't serious, saying the victims, their damage wasn't severe, and also saying he has bipolar disorder has already been addressed in the original submission. So all of these claims have been addressed in the original materials that were submitted. But they also had, this new submission has evidence that directly refutes the fact that he is remorseful, that he didn't gain a benefit from this crime, or that he pledged not to commit such a crime again. So all of that is countered by evidence which is submitted now. So the judge has more than enough to offset, if they want to, the judges, because there are 3 judges on the appeal as opposed to 1 during the first trial. They've got all the evidence they need to put this guy away and to lock this guy up and to refute any of his grounds for appeal. So in judgment here today, the upcoming June 25th court appearance will be his last in-person appearance, because even if no matter what happens, even if he was to win at this appeal, there can be an appeal to the Supreme Court even by the prosecutor. So if the prosecutor doesn't like how this came out, they can appeal this to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court of Korea does not do oral arguments. It's not like the US. It's written opinion only. So even if this goes up to the Supreme Court, he's not going to be there physically in a courtroom again. So this is going to be the last time we're going to see him in a courtroom, which will be very interesting. Also, it's up to the judges at this point. We've done all we can do. We've said all we can say. We've covered all we can cover on my channel, on other channels, about Ramsey Khalid Ismail, about Johnny Somali. It's up to Korea. And I have faith in the Korean justice system and the lawyers that are looking at this, the judges looking at this, the prosecutor, obviously. I have faith in those people that the right thing is going to happen for Korea and that we're going to get a good decision here. So let's wait and see what the judges deliver in Korea. And I'm going to be following this as this case comes to a close. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.